Hi there. Did you know that you can quickly search and filter work orders relevant to you using the Find Request feature available in the desktop version of FAMIS 360? In addition, you can also save these filters, allowing you to quickly and easily access the unique information in the future. You can even update and save existing filters and/or modify ones and save it with a new filter name altogether. Sounds pretty useful, right? Well, stay tuned and we'll show you how to take advantage of filter searches. Okay, so there are many permutations of filters to explore here. First off, let's go to the work order module and go down to Find Request. From this submodule, we can do our filter searches. Now let's go over a few common examples and then show you how to save them for future reference. A lot of us like to start our day by reviewing any open Service Level 1 priority work orders. Your first thought might be to go to the priority dropdown, which is correct, and select SL1. Now that's an important portion of this query, but it's going to need a few more filter parameters to be effective. For example, the date range is very important. By default here, it looks like it only picked 10/31 to 11/7. That's a week's worth of data. And it's doing that to protect itself so that way it doesn't query too many records and bog down the system. But perhaps you want more than a week. Maybe you want this year's worth of data. And so you can of course manually type in 01/01/2024 and then set the end range to today, and you could run that query. Or you can actually click from this drop down here, and under the requested date range you could pick this year. And now it's done it for you. Saves you a little bit of time. Okay, so we've got a date range, we've got the type of priority. Now let's click on Find and see our results. Okay, looks like we have 585 SL1 records. Now with this many records in front of us, it's dawned upon us that we want to filter down further and only see the open SL1s. And so what can we do there? We can go to Open and Closed filter here, and instead of saying all requests, we can go to Open Requests Only. And now, looking at this year, SL1, let's click on Find, and let's see if we can go down from 585 to a smaller number. And there we go. We have 60 records altogether. Okay, so that's 60 records to look at. But then again, maybe we are in a particular skilled trade and we only want to see the ones that only apply to our specific trade crew. So we can go to Crew and we can choose our group, say Campus Electric. And now let's click Find. Okay, looks like we have 7 results. And that's much more manageable. So to save us time in the future, why don't we go ahead and save this search so we can easily run it in the future without having to go through these drop downs. So to save it, we're going to go up here towards the top and click on Save As. And then we're going to give it a description, such as Open SL1 Campus Electric. After entering the description, we're going to leave global set to no and then click Add. And now if we go to the drop down, we'll see in alphabetical order our new filter search right here, Open SL1 Campus Electric. In addition to saving a search, you can also recall a search, click Edit, change the name of it, and then click Update. And there it is. You can also save time and take advantage of one of your more complex searches, making a few changes to the search parameters, such as changing the status to only include work that is in progress, maybe change the date time frame, and then choose Save As so that you can create a new recallable search with a different name. Okay, so let's go over another popular query, looking up PM work orders for your particular shop, but with a specific issue subtype. Now some of you might be familiar with another search option in FAMIS called the Request Hub. Now this particular search can be useful, but it doesn't allow us to drill down to the subtype, instead just the issue type or service type as we see here. But fear not, if we use the Find Request feature that we've been discussing in this video, you'll find that it is a much better search alternative. Not only for its expanded functionality, But find request also allows you to save and recall as many saved searches as you wish, whereas request hub, on the other hand, only saves the current instance of filters. For example, in the request hub, you could set the service type field to campus PM building mechanic in an effort to find PM work orders related to building mechanic. This search leaves too many results. Unfortunately, request hub doesn't have an issue subtype filter, which can leave you with more results and less flexibility. This is one of many examples where using the find request search is the preferred method. Let's go over how we can look up PM work orders for your shop with a specific issue subtype using find request. To do this, let's set the issue type to campus PM building mechanic. Now let's go over to subtype and choose PM water pressure check. Once we have that, let's set the priority to campus PM 90 days, which represents quarterly PMs. Now we're going to set open close to open requests only, and then we're going to set the second half of the date range to the end of this month to avoid seeing the clutter of all the future PMs. Once the query is performed, we'll see that the list of results are now much smaller to search through. From here, we can review the list on our computer screen. We could print these results or even the work orders individually, or even export the data to Excel. And most importantly, we could save this search so that we can perform it with ease in the future. Well, we hope those two examples make it easier to use the find request feature. Now let's wrap it up with some helpful tips and tricks. Filter searches are only available on FAMIS desktop. Also, any of the saved searches that you make are only visible to you, so feel free to experiment with your saved searches. Would you like to remove one of your saved searches from the drop-down list? No problem. Click Edit and delete it. Another important tip, be sure to pay attention to the date requested field. This is going to usually be by default a very small period of time, and if you want to look over a larger period of time, be cognizant to set up a time frame that won't exceed 1,000 records. Otherwise, it's going to kick back an error. Remember, the goal here is to filter your data down to a nice size that you can work with. And then if you think you're going to come back to this type of information on a frequent basis, save your search. That way you can recall it later from the drop-down Save Searches. Okay, we hope this video tutorial was helpful. Now it's time for you to dive in and design some of your own searches using find request. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at fssystemadmin@ucr.edu.